Missing in Tulsa. Are these cases linked? Missing family and missing woman share connections. There are troubling developments surrounding several disappearances in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that seem to share an eerie connection. 4 members of the same family have vanished over the years, and the case of another missing woman has raised serious questions about whether these cases could be related. The disappearance of the Phillips family. In 1991, the Tulsa Police Department reported the disappearance of 4 members of the Phillips family. Paula Phillips, Londa Phillips, and Donald Ray Phillips are siblings who lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Their disappearances began to unfold in a disturbing sequence. On October 3, 1991, 26-year-old Paula Phillips left her apartment at 6300 West 11th Place around 7 p.m. to visit a nearby store. Paula never returned, and she has not been seen or heard from again. Just days later, on October 7, 1991, Paula's 20-year-old brother, Donald Ray Phillips, reported her missing to the police. The authorities began their search, but when they tried to interview Donald on October 10, 1991, they were unable to locate him. In a startling twist, Donald Ray Phillips was reported missing soon after. Neither he nor Paula were ever found again. The Phillips family saga didn't stop there. A little over a year later, on November 22, 1992, the boyfriend of 21-year-old Londa Phillips contacted the Tulsa Police Department to report her missing. Londa had been expected at a relative's home that day, but she never arrived. According to the Charlie Project, there were no known signs of her whereabouts, and she seemingly vanished without a trace. Adding another layer to this already complex case, a close family source has revealed that Londa Phillips had a twin sister named Wanda. While Wanda has not been publicly linked to the other disappearances in the Phillips family, this detail raises even more questions about what could have happened to Londa, and whether her disappearance is connected to the unsettling pattern of missing persons within her family. Londa's twin, Wanda Phillips, 21, is also missing, but she is not entered into missing database at this time. Detectives didn't seem interested in taking a report on Wanda, and she has been left out of all reports of the missing siblings. Adding to the mystery is the disappearance of Tomarian Denise Cookie Phillips Momodu, another sibling in the Phillips family. Cookie, who was 25 years old at the time, was last in contact with her family on January 1, 1991. She vanished sometime during 1991, but the exact date of her disappearance is unclear. Tragically, she wasn't even officially added to National Missing and Unidentified Persons System until 2016. Public records indicate that Cookie was married to a man named Quincy Luke Momodu. Here's where things get even more unsettling. Public records reveal that Quincy Luke Momodu lived next door to Althedia Vaught, a woman whose disappearance would also become a key part of this mysterious puzzle. The disappearance of Althedia Vaught. In January 2009, 41-year-old Althedia Vernon Vaught lived with her 3 adult children in the 3600 block of South New Haven Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Althedia worked at a local nursing facility and led what seemed like a normal life until a fateful night in January of that year. On January 19, 2009, Althedia told her children she was tired and was going to bed. Later that evening, around 11:30 p.m., she abruptly left the house in her pajamas. She took her cell phone with her but left the heater and television on in her bedroom, which gave the impression she planned to return shortly. However, Althedia never came home that night, and her family grew increasingly worried. On January 24, 2009, authorities located Althedia's dark green 1995 Infiniti J30 parked in the garage of Hillcrest Hospital in the 1100 block of South Utica. The car was registered under the Oklahoma license plate number 804ZPN. There was no sign of Althedia, and her disappearance deepened the mystery surrounding the case. Surveillance footage from the hospital's parking garage captured Althedia's car entering around midnight but it was unclear who was driving the vehicle. The cameras also recorded a 2003 white Chevrolet extended cab pickup truck pulling into the garage and briefly parking next to Althedia's car about 30 minutes later. Though the truck's owner was never identified and authorities have not definitively connected the vehicle to Althedia's disappearance, the truck remains a point of interest. As the months passed after Althedia's disappearance, an unsettling detail surfaced. The voicemail greeting on Althedia's phone changed. Previously, it had been a musical greeting, but it was now simply Althedia's voice saying her name. Her daughter, Tiana Thomas, told News on 6. She sounded real tired or drugged. When they called the number back, a man named David answered the phone. He claimed that he had obtained the phone from Cricket, a mobile service provider, but was unable to remove the voicemail greeting. The details surrounding Althedia's case became even more alarming when it was revealed that she lived next door to Quincy Luke Mamodu, the same man connected to the disappearances of the Phillips family.
As they were when it first happened. It's a case I've covered since January of 2009. She's now missed holidays, birthdays, and the births of 2 grandchildren. And her children are convinced that something horrible has happened to her, but they don't believe she's dead. Althedia Vaught cleaned her house the night of January 19, 2009, then told her 2 younger kids who lived with her she was going to bed. But someone or something made her leave the house at 11:30 that night, still in her pajamas, with nothing but her cell phone. She left her TV and heater on in the bedroom, jewelry still on the nightstand. Her son Emmanuel had been watching a basketball game on the couch and doesn't remember hearing her car start.
I think somebody kidnapped her and is keeping her against her will.
Althedia's Infiniti, though, was found days later abandoned at the Hillcrest Hospital parking garage. Surveillance video shows it pulls in around midnight, although it's impossible to tell who's driving. A truck with 3 triangles on the side pulls in within a half hour and then later leaves. Police have always wanted to talk to that driver. Despite the passage of time, her children believe she's alive, partly because her voicemail on her cell phone changed from the music she used to have to her name months after she disappeared. And to them, her voice sounded drugged.
She's a strong woman, so it's where we all get it from, so I know she's still alive out there somewhere.
Emmanuel now has a 1-year-old son, his sister, a little boy, both born since their mother went missing. He says he and his brother and sister have scattered since this happened, and now his brother is behind bars. He says it's just wrecked the entire family, and that's why it's so important to get answers and bring her home.
It'd be very important. It would save us all, you know, because, I mean, I'm losing my brother right now, and my sister, she's barely holding on, and me, I'm barely holding on, so it'd be very important to save a whole family.
Police fear Althedia has been hurt or more likely killed. They would like anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers at 918-596-COPS in order to give answers and bring some peace.
Althedia Vaught was a mother of 3 who disappeared in the middle of the night from her Tulsa home after getting a mysterious phone call. That was 2009, and her children and grandchildren still have no idea what happened to her. Althedia Vaught disappeared on January 19th. She was in her night clothes and house slippers, but something or someone got her to leave the house. Police found Althedia's 1995 green Infiniti at the Hillcrest Hospital parking lot. Surveillance video of that night shows 5 minutes before midnight, this white pickup pulls in. 35 minutes later, her vehicle pulls into the lot. No signs of a struggle, no blood, and no leads.
The two guys that were a person of interest, they searched their cars, their houses, didn't find any blood or anything.
Althedia has 3 children, and she went missing 4 days before the birth of her grandson, something family members say she would never have missed.
It's hard, and I ask, calling my mom to ask to see, to see what's going on with him or whatever. It's just really hard.
Family members would periodically call Althedia's phone number, hoping for answers. At first, it was disconnected. But then one weekend, about 6 months after she disappeared, something strange happened.
It rung about 5 or 6 times, and then it went to the voicemail. It says, "You have reached," and then it went on there and said Althedia Vaught, which is her name. And it was her voice, and it sounded like she was real tired or drugged. And then we had called back, and a guy had answered the phone. His name was David. He said he had got the phone from Cricket, and that he can't get the voicemail off of there.
All the same, Tiana called police, and she just prays something or someone will help break this
The
case.
link between these cases. As the investigation into Althedia Vaught's disappearance unfolded, a chilling pattern emerged. Quincy Luke Momodu, who lived next door to Althedia, became a central figure of interest. There is growing concern that many in the community may have feared him, which could explain why more people have not come forward with information. Adding to the disturbing connections, Momodu was married to one of the missing siblings, Tamarian Cookie Phillips Momodu, who vanished in 1991. Some sources suggest that Momodu may have had ties to the Nigerian mob, raising even more questions about his possible involvement in these cases. Authorities have previously stated that the disappearances were drug-related, but many believe there could be more to the story. With so many individuals linked to Momodu vanishing under mysterious circumstances, some wonder if there is a larger, more complex reason behind these disappearances. Despite these alarming connections, the Tulsa Police Department has not publicly linked Momodu to the cases of Paula, Donald, Londa, and Cookie Phillips, as well as Althedia Vaught. Law enforcement has not provided updates on these potential links, leaving the community with more questions than answers. The missing individuals and their last known details: Tamarian Cookie Phillips Momodu. Last seen sometime in 1991, exact date unknown. Age at disappearance, 25. Height, 5 feet 4 inches. Weight, 175 pounds. Hair, black eyes, brown. Clothing, unknown. Paula Phillips. Last seen, October 3rd, 1991, around 7 p.m., leaving her apartment at 6300 West 11th Place in Tulsa to go to the store. Age at disappearance, 26. Height, 5 feet 0 inches. Weight, 100 pounds. Hair, black. Eyes, brown. Clothing, unknown. Donald Ray Phillips. Last seen, October 7th, 1991 at 6300 West 11th Place, the day he reported his sister Paula missing. Age at disappearance, 20. Height, 5 feet 9 inches. Weight, 132 pounds. Hair, black. Eyes, brown. Clothing, unknown. Londa Renee Phillips. Last seen, November 22nd, 1992, when she was supposed to arrive at a relative's home but never did. Age at disappearance, 21. Height, between 5 feet 1 inch and 5 feet 4 inches. Weight, between 100 to 115 pounds. Hair, black. Eyes, brown. Clothing, unknown. Althedia Vaught. Last seen, January 19, 2009, around 11:30 p.m., leaving her home in her pajamas with her cell phone. Age at disappearance, 41. Height, 5 feet 7 inches to 5 feet 8 inches. Weight, 150 pounds. Hair, black. Eyes, brown. Clothing, pajamas. Although years have passed, this case remains active, and public interest is growing. As new details surface, the demand for justice continues to intensify. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Tulsa Police Department at 918-596-9143. As of March 2025, the disappearances of Paula Phillips, Donald Ray Phillips, Londa Renee Phillips, Tamarian Cookie Phillips Momodu, and Althedia Vaught remain unresolved. These cases span from 1991 to 2009, with no significant new information emerging in recent years. Time since disappearances: Paula Phillips, last seen on October 3, 1991, making it over 33 years since her disappearance. Donald Ray Phillips, disappeared on October 7, 1991, approximately 33 years ago. Londa Renee Phillips, went missing on November 22, 1992, over 32 years ago. Tamarian Cookie Phillips Momodu, reported missing sometime in 1991, around 34 years ago. Althedia Vaught, last seen on January 19, 2009, making it over 16 years since her disappearance. Despite the passage of time, these cases remain active, with the Tulsa Police Department continuing their investigations. Authorities have identified persons of interest but have not made any arrests due to insufficient evidence. The disappearances are believed to be connected, potentially linked to drug activity in the area during that period.